One of the most common terms used in the world of prepping is the term bug out. Bug out is a term applied to locations, gear and kit, vehicles, and even mindset. But, before we explore the aspects of bug out and bugging out, you must understand what triggers a bug out. Can you imagine being part of a mass evacuation? Can you imagine what such an evacuation does to your sense of security? Will you be the one screaming your lungs out and tripping over your feet as you lose all composure? Will you lose sight of your family as they get caught up in the ensuing panic? Now, can you imagine how different it would have been, if only you had been prepared? Most people have never experienced mass evacuations, and cannot possibly fathom the scale and magnitude of a wide-scale mass evacuation. Here are some recent examples. In 2011, 70,000 people were immediately evacuated in the face of the approaching tsunami following the Great East Japan earthquake. 2 days later, another 140,000 people were ordered to evacuate following the potential threat of radioactivity contamination from the Fukushima nuclear power plant. During 2017, 180,000 people were evacuated because of flooding of the Oroville Dam in California, 780,000 people were evacuated because of Hurricane Harvey in Texas, 6.8 million people were evacuated because of Hurricane Irma in Florida, and 100,000 people were evacuated because of wildfires in California. In 2020, 250,000 people were evacuated because of wildfires in New South Wales, Australia. Your evacuation plan is a key safeguard that provides direction to your household when faced with a materialized or imminent threat. It is much more than just a "you are here" sign. You will need to know and understand the hazards, risks, and threats that you could face, and how these could prompt an evacuation in any form. Remember, the choice to evacuate may not always be yours to make. It could be a mandatory evacuation order imposed by fire or police authorities. As a prepper, you must factor in self-triggered evacuation, as well as imposed evacuation in your planning. In this video, I have categorized evacuation into 4 levels. Each of these 4 levels of evacuation are triggered by an event, and in some cases, will trigger another level of evacuation. You can also use each level of evacuation as an alert code to prompt immediate family behavioral responses. So, let's cover the first 2 levels of evacuation. The first level of evacuation is Level 0. Level 0 evacuation is when you do not evacuate to the outside of your house. Instead, you evacuate to a safe room within your house. This safe room is usually a room that is probably more safe and secure, either by design or purpose, than any other room in your home. Your safe room is an area of refuge, or, in Hollywood terms, your panic room, that buys you time, and provides protection from an immediate threat. Your safe room must also be considered as an escape hatch that will also allow you time to delay the threat from causing immediate harm to you, whilst you organize your exit from the house. This immediate threat could be a security threat, an extreme weather event, or any other threat that will impact on your well-being should you find yourself outside the safe room. Your safe room could be any room of your choice, even your garage. However, it should, in terms of its purpose, be a room that is deliberately made as safe and secure as possible. Mindful that you could be spending an extended period in the safe room, it should contain certain key and essential items for purposes of survival, well-being, and communication. Some key and essential items will include access to drinkable water, a powerful torch, a power bank to charge your cell phone, and at least some form of quick nourishment. You should also keep a roll of duct tape and a few plastic sheets to cover any openings in the event you may need to insulate the room against any contaminant. If you have pets that will join you in this room, keep some of their food and a spare water bowl here as well. If the safe room has no direct internal access to a toilet, some wet wipes together with a small sealable bucket lined with a garbage bag may be necessary to keep. Beyond these essentials, you can let your imagination run wild as to what else you would want to keep in the safe room. Bearing in mind that the safe room door will in most cases be the weakest point, you can consider replacing the door with a fire door that has a higher rating in terms of fire insulation, integrity, and stability, or you may even consider installing an anti-bandit security door that is rated for bullet resistance. The choice is yours. Just remember, the investment is in making you and your family more safer and more secure. Later when we talk about your bug-out bag, you will be advised to store this bag in your safe room. Next is a Level 1 evacuation. A Level 1 evacuation is where you must evacuate your home for a short period of time due to a sudden state of danger inside your home, or in some cases, because of exposure to a dangerous condition or event in the immediate vicinity of your home. This could be because of a fire, flood, or other occurrence that would compromise your family's safety should they remain inside the house during the emergency. For a Level 1 evacuation, you will need to establish primary and secondary holding areas where your entire household, including pets if you have, can assemble. Depending on the scenario, a primary holding area could be as simple as the street reserve opposite your house, and a secondary holding area could be assembling at your neighbor's or a friend's house in the same street. You may also need to consider that when the event occurred, you and your family may have been out of the house, possibly each in different locations, and are now prevented from entering your street or neighborhood. In this case, a primary holding area could be the parking lot of the 24-hour fuel service station or fast food outlet in your area. The secondary holding area could be at a friend's or relative's house in another street or neighborhood. So, in your Level 1 evacuation planning, you must remember that holding areas are not just evacuation assembly points, but, depending on circumstance, they are also points of convergence. Wherever the holding areas are, ensure that your family members are familiar with it, and that where necessary, they must also know the direct and alternative routes to the respective holding areas. Remember, whether it is a Level 0 or a Level 1 evacuation, it is important that every member of your family has a defined role to play, as this will limit panic and irrational behavior. For instance, the plan for Level 0 will include someone being responsible for locking doors and gates behind you. Someone being responsible for activating the security panic alarm, if it may be an intruder threat. Someone being responsible for getting the pets into the safe room, and someone being responsible for alerting police or neighbors. Similarly, if it is a Level 1 evacuation, someone must be responsible for grabbing the tactical sling bags containing the personal paper packs, or each member must grab their respective bug-out bags. Someone must be responsible for the pets, someone must be responsible for grabbing keys and remotes if you must open security and driveway gates to get out, and someone could be responsible for activating the security panic alarm to activate a third-party response. In the next video, the last two levels of evacuation will be covered. In the meantime, you should be working on these first two levels. If you have them already, review them. If you do not have them, start drawing them up. Importantly, you must practice dry drills with your family. This not only will reinforce the principle of self-preservation, but will also build individual and collective confidence.
Subscribe to the South African Prepper. Like and share our videos to other South Africans since we are all in this together. Here you get real information and fact-based insights. We don't do opinion or BS. Preparedness is not a hobby, it is a way of life that could save your life.